Doing the exercise multiplying whole numbers by 0.1 and 0.01, right? So this is a relatively simpler uh, multiplication in which a whole number is multiplied with a decimal number, but that decimal number is either a hundredth or a tenth, or it may be a thousandth, right? So let's try and do this. 716 multiplied by 0.1. So we know what a 0.1 is, right? This is 1/10, right? 0.1 is a tenth. So we are saying we have 716 tenths here. 716 tenths. And how do we write that as a decimal? 716 tenths. So this is what the normal uh, manner in which we write decimal numbers. So how do we write? So this is tenth, this is hundredth, this is ones, and this is tenths. Let's try and place 716 tenths as into this decimal framework. So we have 6 tenths. That's where we start. So we start with 6 tenths, and then we move towards the left. So one goes in the zeros place. Oh, sorry, in the ones place, and 7 goes in the tenths place. So we are left with 71.6. So that's what 716 tenths is. It's 71.6. Let's just imagine that we had some other number. So I'll just remove these, and we had, let's say, 416 tenths. So what would that be in decimal form? Again, we start at the last digit, 6 tenths. So 416 tenths, this is 6 tenths, this is 10 tenths, and this is 400 tenths. So we start at the last number, which is 6 tenths. So this goes here, this is 6 tenths. The 1 goes to the left, it is in the ones place, and the 4 goes to the tenths place. So what is the number then? It is 41.6. So that's how you would be able to translate multiplication questions, and you are multiplying a whole number with either a tenth or a hundredth. So this could also be, let's just write another example here. So let's assume that the multiplication question that we had received was not 716 multiplied by 0.1. Let's assume it was 536 multiplied by 0.01. Now in this case, 0.01 is a hundredth, you know that. So this is 536 hundredths. 536 hundredths. Let's try and place this in the same decimal structure. So these are hundredths, these are tenths, and these are ones. So we start with the last digit as we did previously, but this time it is a hundredth. So this goes, 6 goes here, and then the 3 goes in the tenths place, and then the 5 goes here. So 536 multiplied by 0.01 is 5.36, right? So that's one way of doing these questions. Another way is to convert the decimal into a fraction. Let's quickly do that as well. So 536 multiplied by 0.01 can be written as 536 multiplied by 1 over 100. So this is 1 over 100 is how you write 100th as a fraction, right? So a good rule of thumb, or an easy way to solve these questions, is in which you have a whole number and you're multiplying it with something like 1 over 10, or a 1, or 1 over 100, or 1 over 1000, is to count the number of zeros you have. So you have 2 zeros here, so it's 100, so you have 2 zeros, and that is the number of jumps that we will be taking. So in 536 is the same as 536.0. So this decimal will have to move that equal to the number of zeros that you have. So it will take jumps to the left side, and the count of jumps will be equal to the number of zeros you have. So we have 2 zeros in 100, so 1 jump and 2 jumps. So the decimal will go here, and this will become 5.36, right? So if we had another example, let's do another example. We have 472 multiplied by 1 over 1000. Now we have 3 zeros, so this decimal which is at the end takes 3 jumps, 1 jump, 2 jump, and 3 jump. So it goes here. It becomes 0.472. So that's another way of remembering these, on how to remembering how to solve these questions. So if we were to do it in terms of tenths, let's say like we have here 716 multiplied by 0.1. You convert the 0.1 into 1 over 10 because it's a tenth. Now you just have one zero, and the decimal is here 716.0. It just takes one jump, so this becomes 71.6. This is the same answer that we got from the earlier method as well. So we have the answer here. Let's select this 71.6 and then press check, and that is the answer that we were looking for. Okay, so now we have 379 multiplied by 0.01. Now, as you would recall from the previous example, this is a hundredth. So we can do it by both the methods. 379 hundredths. This is 379 hundredths. You just place it as a decimal number. We have hundreds and tens, and we had ones. So because these are hundreds, therefore this is 9 hundredths. This goes to this place. 9, and the rest of the numbers move towards the left. So 7 and 3. So this is 3.79. That's one way. The other one is 379. You convert this into a fraction. 379 over 100. Now this has two zeros. The decimal at the end will take two jumps, one jump, two jump, and it goes here. So it becomes 3.79. So the same answer in both the methods. You just select 3.79, press check, and we have the answer. What about 4 multiplied by 0.1? So you know this is 4 tenths, right? And can you place 4 tenths as a decimal? These are hundredths, these are tenths, and these are ones. 4 tenths is simply 4 tenths, and you have zeros everywhere else. So this is 0.4. That's one way. The other one is you do 4 multiply 1 over 10. You have a single zero here, so the decimal which is at the end. So you need to remember that 4 is equal to 4.0, and that's what we're doing here. So this decimal, which is basically after 4, it takes a jump and goes behind it, right? So that becomes 0.4. So from 4.0 it becomes 0.4. So it takes one jump to the left. So in both the cases the answer is 0.4. Let's select that, 0.4, check. Awesome. Show summary, and we're done.